Good afternoon, good afternoon. Y'all already know who it is, targeted individual CJBK. So I just had something very interesting happen today, something that I've never done before. So I just finished making a delivery. What was the address? I can't remember the exact address. I can't remember the address. But I had parked my bike, like right behind this white car. It looked pretty nice, but I mean, I don't know. It looked like a race car, or whatever. But mind you, the same block that I'm on, there's a police precinct. So I'm already aware that most cars, if they're not lined up, if they're not going parallel to the sidewalk and they're parked like this, those are probably cops. So I had basically just finished my delivery, right? And as I come downstairs, I unlock my bike, I take the chain off, boom, I flip the pedal up, I go to step on the pedal, and all of a sudden, it starts to move about like 3 inches, and all of a sudden I feel something get caught, and then the alarm goes off on the car. I was like, shit. So I look back, and I'm like, I don't see no real damages or whatever. So I start to try to pedal off, and all of a sudden there's a on-duty cop that's there, and he's like walking over to me, looking and whatnot. So I was like, ah, shit. So now I gotta go. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just go ahead and just deal with this. So, but you know what? The situation was actually pretty cool. Now, the thing is, I've had other interactions with cops before in the past, and rightfully so. I was in the wrong in each situation that I was in those interactions with cops. I was in the wrong for all of them. But the thing is, I never had a situation with an officer where I allowed myself to get, agitated, or I allowed the cop to even, or I never allowed the cop to even try to like bait me. And even if they did, I probably didn't take the bait. But anyway, so, and this is one of those things. Like when I think about that, I think about how the handlers, they keep saying, well, they used to say a lot, he got special privileges, and I'm like, what special privileges are they talking about? And they still never told me what these special privileges are. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So, boom, like the cop, he what does he do? Oh, he calls the cop whose car, well, basically it was an all-through cop, right? He calls him while he's at home, and then he like FaceTimes him. So now he's like showing the little scratch, and I'm gonna put a picture of the scratch, right? I'm gonna put it on the video too. He does a FaceTime, and he's like, no. First, the on-duty cop says something. Like, he's like, yeah, one of those food delivery bikers with with all the shit in the back, the wagon. Yeah, one of those guys. That kind of like what was the word he used? I think he said he scratched it, or I forgot the term he used. But he's like, it doesn't look bad. He's like, you want me to FaceTime you? He's like, yeah. So then he FaceTimes the guy, right? Then let me come over here. I ain't ready. So, interesting. Cops. So he FaceTimes the guy, and he's like, that fucker. so I'm like, okay. But I mean, I get it, scratching your car. I mean, shit, somebody scratch my car, I'll be a little upset too. But I mean, it's not that bad though. You'll see the picture. Anyway, so Yeah, like the cop that I'm standing next to, he's like, all right, come in the station, I'll take some information. So I gave him my driver's license ID and my work ID, because I'm like, look, I ain't got shit to hide. I'm not out here doing anything, so I don't have no problem really giving my information, because I mean, what are they going to find on me? I'm not doing anything. And to even make it more interesting, while I was in there and he was writing down like my phone number and stuff, I had asked him, I was like, hey, because I started thinking about how the handlers and the gang stalkers, they're always like threatening, like, oh, you're about to go to prison, oh, we got an investigation on him. So I started to tell him, I'm like, hey, is it possible for you to just do a background check on me real quick since I'm here? He was like, what? No, you don't want to do that, because if you do that, you go to jail. So I was like, wow, that was a pretty honest and fluid response he gave me. So he's like, you don't want to do that, you go to jail. Look, this is what you do. You just go to the courthouse, and then go to the counter clerk and ask them if there's an investigation, like an open investigation on you. And then I was like, okay, all right. So you know what? I think I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna do just that, because they always, like, the one thing you got to remember about, about gang stalking and electronic harassment is most of the time it's not intentional to try to kill you quickly. It's not intentional to try to get you, like, I guess, what's to say? Well, no, it may be intentional to try to get you locked up. But most of the things that they do is all about trying to get you to produce loosh energy. And if you need a reminder what loosh energy is, loosh, Loosh, loosh is the term used to describe any low vibrational emotion, whether it's grief, sadness, despair, anger, hatred, anything that's lower than neutral. You could consider that loosh energy, right? Now, yeah, so I'm just jokingly asking. I mean, I actually was kind of serious. I was like, hey, I was like, look, I'd rather know now than just be walking around and whatnot, than all of a sudden, while I'm out having a good time, all of a sudden I get a knock on the door or whatever, then all of a sudden it's like, surprise, you got something on you. And it's like, oh shit, I didn't even know. But, I never did do it. So I was like, all right. So one of these days, I'm going to go ahead and take some time out, and I'm going to actually go and I'm going to go in and see if there's actually a report out on me, because they're so hell-bent on trying to induce fear into me. But the God I serve, the God that gave me life and energy in this world, told me not to fear any man nor creature on this planet. And even if my heart rate starts racing or my legs are shaking a little bit, I wouldn't even call that fear, but it's more like adrenaline, or that like, it's like like there's a surge of energy that I'm trying to top off, right? And what I'm trying to do is to keep from doing anything that may be irrational, right? So it's like, there are times where, like, I probably should have gotten a lot of fights. But I've always found a way to either talk myself out of it or walk away without being harmed, or without them getting like a cheap shot in on me or anything like that. So I have a tendency, and you know what, this is why I always believe that no matter what is going on in the world, I have been mastering my peace for such a long time. And one of the best ways that I learned how to master my peace is to literally disconnect myself from every type of, trend or thing that, like, most people tend to gravitate to. I made myself non-materialistic. I made myself into someone who doesn't really care about money. I understand the uses of money. I understand the importance of money. But do I Would I do almost anything for money? No. Would I do mostly anything for money? No. Would I do some things for money? I'll still put an asterisk on it because money is not that important to me. At this point in time in my life, right now I am mostly focusing on building myself up. And then especially after coming into, this whole targeting thing, now I have to understand a whole nother part of myself that I didn't know that I never really engaged as much. I always tried to be non-confrontational, but now with this gang stalking stuff and, them always trying to produce this loose energy from people, I'm basically realizing that I might actually be like, they say a Pisces is two fish. I'm like, I might be a goldfish on one side, but a barracuda on the other. I said the other, but on the other. And I'm just thinking to myself, I really, really hope that I keep this going, and I never really have to lay hands on anybody. And if I ever do, I hope I don't accidentally kill him. Because I let out my frustrations and whatever through various different means. Most of the time it might be self-harm or self-inflicting or whatever. But I don't take anything out on other people though. I don't know, I feel like I'm much more wiser than that. I don't take out my problems on anyone else, and I don't expect no one to help me with all my problems, and quite frankly, I don't necessarily ask a lot of people to help me with my problems in the first place. I don't know. I always feel like life is much better when you sink your toes into the ground and you go ahead and you just ground yourself and you work your way through your problems. If you need to ask somebody for something, ask them for resources or ask them for information. Don't ask nobody for no handouts. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, I'm not stressed out that I it's like, I scratched this cop's car, and it's like, but it is kind of like disappointing because I was like, damn, but it probably shouldn't be a big deal, but Officer Rodriguez seems like a decent guy, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I'll keep y'all posted. No handcuffs on me today. For the TIs, that's like, being harassed by cops and whatnot, I feel for y'all. I myself can't ever really say that I've been harassed by cops. Like, I've had some cops do some unnecessary things just to give me a ticket for something, but I can't say I've been harassed before. Damn, I just missed my train. Anyway, those of you, that's already gone. But yeah, so I'll let y'all know what's going on. The officer said he's gonna take his car to a body shop and let them see how much it's gonna cost. Now, I'm gonna keep y'all posted, right? I'm gonna be like, when he tells me how much, right? I'm gonna tell y'all how much he told me, and then y'all gonna have the picture with the video. So I'm gonna see how much y'all think it really should be, or if it sounds about accurate. All right. Take life one breath, one thought, one step, one day at a time, and always remember, only you can master your peace. Only you. Nobody else can do it but you. Only you can master your peace. Most people in this world are here to actually pull you away from your peace or draw energy away from you, which takes you from that level of peace or I don't know, I've been feeling that lately, but it's like not even lately, but I don't know, as an empath, we have a tendency to always we rely heavily on our energy state, whether it's emotional or physical energy. We rely on these things a lot. And the one thing I also realize is that, you know, a lot of people need to learn how to control their own too. Because I don't think a lot of people realize just how much of an of a like a, you don't want to call them a leech, but it's like a lot of people are like, they're like, oh, you got energy? Give me. You know, they attach themselves to you, and then they're just like drawing energy, drawing energy. Then by the time, and then, you know, you, especially if you're a nice person, you don't mind sharing your energy. But then after a while, you realize they're not trying to detach that cord from you. They just keep drawing energy from you. And then eventually, when they finish drawing energy from you and you don't have any more energy to want to listen to anything or do anything, all of a sudden, what's wrong with you? What's going on, man? You not yourself? Motherfucker, because y'all draining my energy. That's why. Anyway, all right. I'll keep y'all posted. Peace out.